are now back in session. We will continue with our agenda. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on, we have council appointments. There are two appointments. First, there's the Board of Tax Review. We have Kazim Yunalan. Am I saying that right, Director Miller?
Kaz.
Yes. So we have his resume. We have discussed this. It is my understanding you are okay with this appointment and do not wish to fill the vacancy, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is there a motion?
Could you repeat that?
We will be filling the Board of Tax Review position with Kazim Yunalan, and there's not a request to fill the
alternate.
Alternate,
position.
thank you.
He's
Yes,
the
that
current
is-
alternate.
Thank you.
Yeah, then we would just be moving into that position. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, congratulations to Mr. Unilan. Next, we have the Board of Zoning Appeals. We just met prior to this, and we've had two wonderful quality candidates. Thank you for joining us for the meeting tonight. We appreciate that. Is there a motion at this time?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate the right word, or appoint Andy Gosselin to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second. Okay, that's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Thank you both, gentlemen. We appreciate it. Congratulations, Mr. Gassman. And Ryan, please apply for other things in the future, because we're always looking for qualified candidates, and we'd love to have you.
Both of the candidates were very
Yes.
qualified. We're very happy to have you both here. Unfortunately, we only have one seat open. Wish we could have you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, mayoral appointments.
I have a planning commission appointment to make, and I apologize, I did not send the resume around. Right now, I can do that.
Emily, real quick.
Yes.
Both applicants for BCA, you are free to go. Like, we don't say, if not enough people say it all day. Then it's,
Yeah, thank you for staying. Thank you so much.
they look like they were settling in. Spare them.
Sorry, I faced the wall down. So.
Brett, did you say we?
I just sent it to you all.
Okay. May I suggest that
Because we have a meeting this month.
I understand. I was just going to rearrange the agenda a bit.
That's
If
absolutely. It's
if
Mark
that's pleasure,
Halvard.
council. I wasn't going to, but I was going to ask.
Yes.
I'll just tell you what I sent. It's Mark Halvard. He's at M&A Architects. Wonderful, qualified candidate, and I will submit him later, but I will also give you a chance to take a look at the resume.
Absolutely. Come back to that later in the meeting. We'll move on to public hearing for the 2022 tax budget. Public hearing is now open. No requests for comment. Are there any comments on this tax budget? Okay. Call this hearing closed. Next, we have approval of proceedings. Are there any comments or motions? Second. Motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Hasty.
Yep.
Patinos.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Panzera.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes.
We do. There was one email comment from Steve Reynolds. The subject of the email was the Resolution 14-2021, Brain and Alzheimer's Awareness Month.
Great, thank you. That will be submitted into the minutes. Next, we have department head reports. If you'd like to come join us, please.
Charlie, start by telling us that we made the wrong decision for BZA since there's apparently no from Columbus.
Oh, okay. For council, we changed the report a little bit, give you a little more information about the projects that are going on. You'll see on the first page. That's one fundamental change we made to the staff report back to you. Really, if you have any questions, that would be, I would address those for you.
Are there any questions for the director? Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate the additional information.
Okay.
You're welcome to stay, but if you would like to leave, you're more than welcome to be dismissed.
And for the council, if there's anything different you want on the report, let us know, because we're not always sure what you want. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Great. Moving on, council committee reports, finance.
Yes, we met May 17th for ordinance 2021, and I can speak to that as it comes up in the agenda.
Thank you. Planning and administration. No meeting, no report. Recreation services and public facilities.
No meeting, no report.
Safety.
Also no meeting and no report since the last council meeting.
Thank you. Economic development
No meeting, no report.
and rules and productivity.
Also no meeting, no report.
Thank you. Council liaison reports, Grandview Library.
Only real update to Grandview Library right now, summer reading program is on. Good prizes. So I would make sure you're logging your pool reading, because there's some good things. I would go to the library website just to check out, see, I mean, this stuff for adults too. It's not just kids. I'll take passes to the theater and draft house, I mean, really.
Great, thank you. Moving on to school report, I would just like to say congratulations to the class of 2021, well done, as well as congratulations to all of our track and field folks who went to state. Moving on, chamber.
Looking forward to potential in-person luncheons again soon.
RPL. Moving on, planning commission.
Planning Commission took the month off. There were no cases. Correct, Liz? Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose my mind.
Thank you.
Again.
Coda.
Code Advisory Board met May 18th. CODA has hired a new diversity director, and relevant to Grandview, they plan on opening up all the express routes to more routes than just the one. For example, 13 right now is one in the morning, one in the evening. They plan on opening up to more routes coming up in the near future. That's our goal. That's all I have.
Perfect. Moving on, WorkC.
Yes, so the WorkC met on May 13th and had a few guest speakers, Rochelle Martin, Franklin County Executive Director for NAMI, whom we have also heard from in our past meetings, and also Columbus Public Service Director Jennifer Gallagher and CODA President, we just noted, CEO Joanna Pinkerton, who spoke about the Link Us State of Mobility Report. WorkC recently received a Silver Soul Smart designation, which is part of a national program designed to recognize local governments for encouraging solar energy growth. And then the commission recently approved their new sustainability agenda, which my colleague, Councilmember Edwards, may speak a little more to. They adopted several resolutions in the last meeting, one supporting $6 million for planning work and transportation, and another authorizing WorkC to work with ODOT, and the U.S. Department of Transportation. And then they recently have released some COVID-19 policy briefs, which you can find on their website. And Morpsey staff is transitioning back to the office this month. They, for those of you who might not know, recently renovated their office space, and they plan to transition back to in-person or hybrid commission meetings after the July recess. That was all.
Great, thank you. Destination Grandview?
Destination Grandview's next meeting is Friday at 9:30. They do not have an agenda for it yet. They usually send it out a little bit beforehand.
Perfect. Sustainable 2050.
No report.
Youth Traffic Advisory, no meeting, no report. Mayor Kurtz, Mayor's report, please.
Thank you. Thanks to those of you who joined us at the Blue Star Mothers Memorial Ceremony and the annual parade. And thanks to Medic Josh Harris for escorting this motley crew around down First Avenue. So happy to be back to what we hope is relatively normal feeling summer. We kicked off our pool season, had a great start to that, and summer camps also started going very well despite some challenges with the weather. We're excited to announce our recycling carts that we received as part of the grant. The SWACO grant are starting to be deployed beginning next week. And we're also rolling out our Recycle Right campaign in conjunction with SWACO. And so you'll see some mailers delivered to you and through other channels as well. This week you may have noticed that Dublin Road from Grandview Avenue to the engineer's office and Grandview Avenue from Dublin Road north to railroad tracks will be paved or is being paved. We ask, it's down in one lane. At times we ask that everybody please be aware and use caution. Pleased to announce the virtual State of the City address has dropped and is available on YouTube, on the city's YouTube page. And special thanks to President Keeler and Director Miller for joining me in that address, as well as staff for their hard work in putting both the audio-visual presentation together and for troubleshooting numerous technical challenges in the process. Speaking of technology, you've heard extensive media coverage recently about cyber attacks and ransomware, and that's also been hitting public as well as private entities. We are not immune as local government to these sorts of threats, and we do experience attempts and attacks firsthand very regularly. Thankfully, Director Brian Lee is very, very knowledgeable and proactive at taking steps to keep us safe. I am actually inviting him to mid-month, and so we would like to bring forward a report from the director on what he's been doing and some of general update on technology functions as well as cybersecurity measures that we're taking and overall program since he has begun with the city. So hopefully you will look forward to that. And reminder, this Saturday, June 12th, as we've kicked off summer, it's Community Fitness Day at Pierce Field, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Activities for all ages. Hopefully the weather cooperates, community bike ride, sponsors fun for the family. We encourage you all to stop by. And finally, getting back to an earlier piece of the agenda, you can do it whenever you want, but just to finish my thought, Mark Hollern is who I am nominating to be appointed to Planning Commission. You may know that Sarah Kelly is married to Tice Von Massacres, who chaired the BZA. Sarah Kelly is a valued member of Planning Commission who is also going with Tice on sabbatical for the next year. So she's also resigned from the Planning Commission. And I had a wonderful meeting with Mark. I sent his resume around. He is an architect and senior project manager at M&A Architects. Lives in, obviously, in the community at the tower. And so for your consideration, I'd like to nominate Mr. Hollern.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved. That's a remarkable selection. I'm happy to have his participation.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Hollern.
That's all I have unless there's questions.
Any questions for the mayor? Moving on, Director Dvorsky, Director of Operations report.
Similar to the mayor's comments, I want to do a shout out to the Parks and Rec Department. They had a very busy month. Their summer programs are being well attended, are off and running. The memorial circus was beautiful. Really like the processional that we get around the city. That's, I think, something that we're about ready to institutionalize. We've done that twice and it was really well received. Parade went great. I want to thank the service department for cleaning up afterwards and cleaning First Avenue. They did a nice job on that. And the city looks beautiful in many areas. I really like the work that the Parks and Rec Maintenance Department is doing, making the city look beautiful and watering the planters around, and the city just looks great. As well as love the planters at the pool too. It's I went in there, it makes me feel like I'm at a resort. So good shout out to them. Otherwise, in May, we've been primarily focused on a meeting, Civic Campus, and I don't want to steal Liz's thunder, but been busy but rewarding month.
Great, thank you very much. Moving on, Director Miller, Director of Finance Report.
The finance department had a good month. We had a very good income tax month, primarily due to net profit taxes from a few businesses. So we were very happy to see that. However, we found out at the end of May that the America Rescue Plan Act funds that we thought we were going to get about 1.6 million, the state of Ohio has to decide now if they're going to split that money between only municipalities or municipalities and townships. The pot of money doesn't change, just the amount we get. So we could be getting closer to 759,000 versus the 1.6 million. So we're waiting. I think they have to decide pretty soon because they only have so much time to distribute the money. And we're waiting to hear what they decide. A lot of people think they're going to give some to the townships as well. The feds kind of left it up to the states because each state kind of operates differently with their small governments. So we'll wait and see what we do there. The other big thing was the state rolled the municipal income tax questions related to the work from home into the budget bill, which makes it a lot harder to get things taken out. It's probably going to pass as it's been put in, which there's good points that they're extending the work from home withholding provision to the end of 2021. So that's good for the people working, for a Grandview business but working from home. But it is allowing people who did work remotely to file for a refund for 2020 and 2021. So that could hurt us. We just have to we're gonna have to see how many people file and what the dollar amount will be. So those are the big finance things for this month.
Director Miller, did you say folks who filed in 2020 and, we just did 2020, not 2021, right?
2020 and 2021.
Okay,
So they are taking it back to last year.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions for Director Miller? Thank you very much. Director Pelter, community planning and development.
Yes, thank you. Good to see everybody. I submitted my report also. I'm happy to answer any questions on any of it. I'll touch on just a few things. One was we had a success this month with an application we put in through the Marksy Sustainability 2050 initiative to provide some planning support from the Ohio State University City and Regional Planning Department. They're going to pick up one of the projects that we put forward for planning as their studio project for the fall. We had put forward the West Clinton Township area to do some planning on, and we had a preliminary meeting with the class instructor, professor, to begin planning for that activity in the fall. Hopefully, hoping Clinton Township also helps the city, so happy for that. And then the two other really big pushes this past month have been with regard to the school and the MOU that we'll be discussing a little later, and then also with the new municipal building and guiding some of the planning activities related to that. As you know, I think we've been engaging in fit planning with the consultant who are actually here tonight. I should say this, if I could introduce you in case you wondered who these folks are sitting in the audience out here. This is Scott Erdy, who's the design architect with Erdy McHenry Architecture, and Kevin Ayers, who's the project manager. They're here today for a kind of first dive into fit planning for this site to see how some of the programmatic elements might come together on the site and how they might accommodate folks who want to move, into the site, the various different constituencies, and how that might be impacted by the surrounding infrastructure, as well as what might be some interim plans for the park up the street, hopefully. So those have been the two big pushes for this month, and that will kind of continue over the summer. We've been working on functionality conversations with all of the chiefs and the department heads for planned program for that building. That will continue, as I mentioned, through the summer, and as we get a little bit closer to understanding what the needs are, we'll also begin developing cost estimates. We have a little bit better idea of the direction that the functions are driving us toward, then we'll be looking at some community involvement later in the summer and into the fall. Happy to answer any of the questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the director? Okay, moving on, city attorney report.
I submitted my report to you and would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Yes.
Joelle,
Yes.
is there an update? Was there a nuisance case involving a house on Broadview?
Yes, it's been pending for a long time. So the status of that is that we have an agreed entry with the homeowner. And from time to time, we'll get an inquiry from someone on the street. The police department has been very diligent about tracking any activity that they received notice of, and to date, there hasn't been observation of violations.
By the police, there hasn't been.
That's correct.
observations
They
of
go
violations.
out, they've dispatched on each of the reports that they have received, which have not been many. And we have, I followed up with one of the residents who asked me about this specific thing, and I documented to her, the dates and times that the police were requested to go and what their findings were.
Does that agreed order have an expiration on it, or what's the?
It does not. It does not.
It does not.
We, at one time, so probably it's been over a year now, there was some activity that led us to ask the court to go back in on the agreed entry being violated. Unfortunately, it was kind of at the peak of COVID, and the court wouldn't give us a hearing because they were really trying to triage what they deemed to be emergencies, and this didn't rise to that level. We persisted and were told repeatedly, keep trying if you want, but, and after that, the activity subsided. So,
Was that in common police court or environmental court?
that's in the environmental court before judgment goes.
They wouldn't hear a case.
Their determination as to what constituted an emergency during COVID, during the height of COVID, which was, I think this was like last July or August, was quote unquote, if there are guns involved, we'll give you a hearing.
Or if it involved a bar or a restaurant, they scheduled plenty of hearings, but anyway.
Right.
My comment section's later, I guess.
May I ask one question?
Ask Councilmember Houston.
Do you have any update regarding the R-PACE financing, status of, if we have any folks in Granby Heights that have been able to use it? I know there was the capital providing firm.
Yeah, the firm
is changing over.
Exactly. There was one firm that was initially intended to do that, and that did not materialize for some reason. And I think the court, the Toledo court, entered into an agreement with a different financing agency, and I think those transactions are supposed to start very soon, if they haven't already. We had one individual.
There's one application.
Say again?
There's one application.
Okay.
That was approved.
That was the only one that I was aware of.
Okay, thank you for that update.
Yeah. Mr. Smith, we're getting a little bit of feedback. You might need to mute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? All right, moving on to old business item number 1.
Resolution 07-2021, a resolution adopting a tax budget for fiscal year 2022.
Thank you. Director Miller or Chair Smith, do you have anything on this item?
Again, this is just more housekeeping business for the tax budget for the year. We need to turn this into the county auditor. We had the public hearing this evening, no objections. In light of this, I would move to approve.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Third.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Hatsafetinos?
Yes.
Houston?
Yes.
Panzera?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Hasty?
Yep.
President Keeler?
Yes.
Resolution 07-2021 has been approved.
Thank you. Moving on to old business item number 2.
Ordinance 2021-10, an ordinance to amend the salary ordinance of the City of Grandview Heights, Ohio, and declaring it an emergency.
Thank you. Councilmember Smith, your committee met.
We met on this May 17th. This increases the salary for Assistant Fire Chief to $85,120 and creates the Communications Director and the Police Department. All this has been, the money's been appropriated already. There's no need for supplemental, and the Finance Committee unanimously recommend approval. And with that, I will move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. That's a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Houston?
Yes.
Panzera?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Hasty?
Yep.
Hatsafetinos?
Yes.
President Keeler?
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-10 has been approved.
On to the real business.
Moving on to new business item number 1.
Resolution 10-2021, a resolution to waive the provisions of section 529.07B3 of the codified ordinances for the Grandview Hop on August 28th and September 25th, 2021 in the city of Grandview Heights.
Thank you. Mayor Kearns, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, we're pleased that certainly the Grandview Hop is coming this year. The Columbus Young Professionals, we've been talking to them actually for the past year and a half, and they have concluded that they're going to do 2 this year to bring it back. So this is substantially similar to what has been done in the past. It's simply to suspend the container laws for the designated area for the time period indicated 5 to 9 p.m. on those 2 dates.
Thank you. Any further discussions?
If I could comment real quick.
Yes.
We have a couple of these. I don't know if Grandview's quite right for it yet, that Grandview Avenue is, but the state has created these things called DORA districts, which are designated outdoor refreshment areas. And they allow for this kind of stuff, and actually cities have a lot of control on the dates and the times and the this and the that. Now, I actually don't know, now that I think about it, as I say it, I'm not positive Grandview Avenue in Grandview actually qualifies, because I think you have to have X number of permit holders actually on the street. As we stand, we may not have that, and I might be wrong on that, but it was something we could consider in the future. This is sort of like the light version of doing that. It's what we've always done for various things, so if we ever wanted to look into it, Hilliard's doing it, and it's been amazing up at the, like by the Crooked Can Brewery and that stuff up there and other places. Columbus refuses to consider it, but a lot of the suburbs have, and places all throughout the state have done it. I've helped a couple applicants and cities get through it, but it's an interesting thing. Again, I don't know if it fits for Grandview Avenue. It kind of seems unwieldy to be like, the old bodega site could utilize it, but the Grandview Cafe couldn't, that always blows people's mind, right? The Grandview Cafe is not Grandview. But it's something to think about in the future if we ever wanted to make it more of a, kind of make that more of an option. I think Hilliard's doing it on Saturdays. I forget which other ones we've been working on that have been doing some days. Dublin, oh my gosh, Dublin, that's the one I've been working on forever. Dublin's doing it for the summer, and it's really, really gonna take off for them. They also, in Bridge Park, have a pretty unique space that is made for that. But I mean, maybe the yard is good for that at some point, or I don't, you know.
Was that a motion?
If I may, I know that Dora's coming in all kind of shapes and sizes. Shutting down the road is, as you know, a significant undertaking, as we have mutual aid, and it's an emergency route. You know, I'm aware certainly, it's come up in other parts of town too, that's what I wanted to comment, that it's the shutting down of the street. People ask me this all the time, but it is a very significant challenge for safety services.
Any further discussion?
Move to recommend resolution 10/2021.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Panzera?
Yes, for clarity, that was a motion to approve, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Hasty?
Yes.
Katsafatinos?
Yes.
Houston?
Yes.
President Keeler?
Yes.
Resolution 10-2021 has been approved.
Thank you. New business item number 1, or sorry, number 2.
Resolution 11-2021, a resolution to waive the provisions of section 529.07B3 of the codified ordinances for the Bobcat Boosters Oxford event, September 9th through the 11th, 2021, in the city of Grandview Heights.
Thank you. Mayor Prince, anything to add to this one?
Well, just that Kirschfield will be the happiest place on earth if we pass this. September 9th to 11, 2021.
Move over Disneyland.
Thank you.
So moved.
Just a point of clarification, that that's the event date, the September 9th to 11th, but we're just approving the 10th and the 11th, I think. Okay, just point of clarification.
Is that a
Second.
motion? Second.
That's a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Hasty?
Yep.
Katsafatinos?
Yeah.
Houston?
Yes.
Panzera?
Yes.
President Keeler?
Yes.
Resolution 11-2021 has been approved.
New business item number 3.
Resolution 12-2021, a resolution to waive the provisions of section 529.07B3 of the codified ordinances for the Hofbrau House Walk Run event on July 24th, 2021 in the city of Grandview Heights.
You, Mayor Kearns, anything else on this one?
This is at least the second year, maybe third or fourth year of this Hop Brown House Run. And again, it's you, those of you who've been on council, all of you have seen this before, but it's the same event. It's July 24th, and request that you do the same thing here.
Okay, question?
Yes.
Just that we didn't have any issues last year with dragging it. The only thing about this one that concerns me a little more than the others is just the time of day.
We didn't do this one last year. I
I'm
apologize.
sorry.
I said it earlier,
Yes,
but,
right.
you know, I wasn't the mayor last time this was
Right.
held, but I'm confident that there were no incidents.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
That's a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Edwards?
Yes.
Hasty?
Yep.
Katsafatinos?
Yes.
Houston?
Yes.
Panzera?
Yes, even though I won't be able to be there.
Smith?
Yes.
President Keeler?
Yes.
Resolution 12-2021 has been approved.
New business item number 4.
Resolution 14-2021, a resolution recognizing June as Brain and Alzheimer's Awareness Month.
Thank you. Councilmember Edwards, do you have anything to add to this?
I do. Thanks, President Keeler. As many of us know, June is Brain and Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Alzheimer's is a disease that affects more than 6 million Americans and over 220,000 Ohioans, making it a public health crisis, one of our society's most costly diseases. Most of us have friends and family who've been impacted by Alzheimer's and understand the toll that it takes on both those with the disease and also their family members and caregivers. The Alzheimer's Association of Central Ohio provides support
helps meet the needs of people affected by Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. And a great way to support their work and help their cause to end Alzheimer's is to participate in the upcoming Columbus Walk to End Alzheimer's on September 26th. And we would encourage Grandview residents to participate and support this important cause. And with that, I'll move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
That's a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Hasty,
Yep.
Hatsafatinos,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Panzera,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
President Keeler,
Yes.
Resolution 14-2021 has been approved.
Thank you. New business item number 5.
Ordinance 2021-11, an ordinance to approve a preliminary plat and re-accept the final plat for property known as South Goodale Phases 1 and 2 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mayor Kearns.
This is a technical correction. We request passage tonight. This ordinance is already approved, but it's to re-accept the plat due to substitution of ownership on land swaps.
Move to suspend.
The motion, is there a second?
Second.
The motion and a second to suspend the rules. Clerk, please call the roll.
Hatsafatinos.
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Panzera,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Hasty,
Yep.
President Keeler.
Yes.
The rules for ordinance 2021-11 have been suspended.
Move to approve.
Second.
That's a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Houston,
Yes.
Panzera,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes. Yes.
Hasty,
Yep.
Hatsafatinos,
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-11 has been approved.
Thank you. New business item number 6.
Ordinance 2021-12, an ordinance to accept the final plats for property known as Grandview Yard Block N and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mayor Kearns.
Thank you. I believe you got the actual graphic depiction of the plat as a supplement tonight to this, and that will be corrected. But we, again, this is something that we request suspension of the rules at second reading to expedite approval for final recording. And it's, the reason is, there's been COVID-related delays, and it really just needs to get underway as soon as possible.
If I could just add one
What's that?
comment. The two maps are at the very back of the packet.
Oh,
You'll notice
thank
that
you.
they say phase 7 and not block N. Ms. Kelker reminded me that at the time of the rezoning of the parcels, which has been a while now, all of the remaining building blocks were renamed. So block N is the same as phase 7, and so we'll make that correction when we bring this back to you next month, next meeting.
Thank you. We will go ahead and assign that to planning administration and record that as a first reading. Next, new business item number 7.
Ordinance 2021-13, an ordinance to accept the dedication of 0.044 acres for 2 sanitary easements located within Block D of the Grandview Yard development.
Thank you. Mayor Kearns.
Well, we're on the roll here with infrastructure tonight. It's self-explanatory. It's a dedication for sanitary easements and Block D. So it's for infrastructure.
Thank you. We will assign that to planning administration and record that as a first reading. Next, we have other business, tax incentive review council appointment. Mayor Kearns.
Yes, there has been, it's necessary to have 2 residents on, as the city's representatives to the Turk Board, as we call it. I would like to tonight appoint Director Kelker, who's a resident, and the director, and Councilman Edwards to that, to do that duty. And in the event, they're looking at a schedule change this year because of COVID and virtual meetings. Normally it's in August, it may be in June. As an alternative to Councilman Edwards, if he's not available, I would also appoint Chris Smith to be the alternate. Councilmember Smith. So move to recommend approval of those appointments.
All right.
I'll move to
Yeah, we will have to.
appoint.
All right, is there a second?
As described.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Congratulations to Councilmembers Edwards, Smith, and Director Colker. The only other item of business we have, we were noticed via email, but in July, due to scheduling, we are looking at having one meeting in July, which would be Tuesday, July 13th. That will, just so that everyone has it on their calendars, and we are all on the same page. Move it to Tuesday, July 13th. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have comments from council members.
Madam President, very briefly.
Yes.
Just a reminder of the event coming up next week, Safe Conversations About Race, Thursday, June 17th at 7 p.m. This is featuring Suzanne Roberts, CEO of Unifying Solutions, and Jim White, CEO of Performance Consulting Services. Will be a compassionate civil conversation regarding the complicated history of race in the United States, and you can register for this event at the library's website.
Thank you. Yes, Councilmember Easton.
Yes, on Tuesday, June 22nd, it is the Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday, June 22nd, I am hosting a meet and greet. It is not a fundraiser. I am hosting a meet and greet for the mayor of Cincinnati, John Cranley. He is, in full disclosure, is running for governor, but he wanted to meet a bunch of hospitality industry people and asked me to invite anybody else who was interested in meeting John. He's a really, really great, interesting guy, and from my perspective, has been a pretty good friend to the hospitality industry in the last year, but I also happen to like him very much also, so if anyone would want to come by and meet him, 5 to 7, he is returning to Cincinnati that night, so we'll probably stay pretty close to 5 to 7, but we'll have an area that his backyard set aside for that. To go. I'm also doing one in Cleveland on the 17th with some of my restaurant clients, but I don't think anyone wants to go to Cleveland on the 17th by all means, but
It's a tavern back there.
backyard.
Okay. Are there any other comments? All right, moving on, executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.2. This is to consider the purchase of property for public purposes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move into
Second.
executive session. Thank you. And there is a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Pansara,
Yep.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards,
So me, yes. Yes.
Hasty,
Yeah.
Constantinos,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes. All right, I would invite Director Kazam, Mayor Kearns, Director Miller, Director Folker, Director Jaworski, and our advising folks in the audience.
Ryan and I will use the same link.
We will send you a Teams again.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, we are in executive session. Staying in this room, we'll wait till I think it's break.